What's new in non-duality 2020? Absolutely nothing.
I'm going to mute all.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead and unmute, Paul.
I was muted that whole time. Oh, that's good. Everyone's recognition is exactly the same when I'm muted or unmuted.
You're talking in your own head.
It's sort of like you're unmuted completely, then you need to see that you're muted, and then you arrive back of as always been unmuted. Yeah, you can't seem to arrive where you already are, so you got to see that you're muted to arrive at where you never left unmuted. Yeah, that's sort of how it goes. Yeah, we got to hear about something to arrive to realize we're at nothing. Yeah, it's no arrival. It's just yeah. All right. Well, let's start. Is someone new? Is Deborah new?
She said first time to this group.
Warn her that she should leave right now before it's too late. I can't be responsible for what's going to happen later on. All right. So for Deborah, I hope you've heard of non-duality, and basically just going by the title, non meaning not, duality meaning two. So if non-duality, or what we're looking for, is sort of found by realizing what you're not, and what you're not is two, yet we feel like we're one, don't we? We feel like a long-lasting, independent, separate unit, yeah? But in fact, the activity that we are, sometimes we're seen as an object, sometimes we're taken to be a subject, yeah? That's the negation. Non-duality is negating the subject-objectness. The one that's happening where we are would be called dualism, and then duality is how we see things. So non-duality is just a negation of that. It's nothing other than, it's nothing really, but its activity here is to negate an activity here, yeah? So its activity is to negate an activity. And what is that activity? Dualism and duality, yeah? That's it. So you can't experience non-duality. You can't understand it. You can't know it. You can't get it. You can't lose it, which is wonderful. You can't acquire it. You can't trade for it. You can't achieve it because you are it. Yeah? Now, with any other topic we could be speaking about, those modalities may work. Understanding something, experiencing something, knowing something, having something, losing something is valuable, yeah? All of that would be appropriate, but you can't turn it on what you are, because you are that. The reason why the stubbornness of attempting to do that is we're taking ourselves to be something else other than what we are. So we're really trying to learn what we are from what we're not. We're trying to have an experience of what we are as what we're not. Yeah? It's sort of like the stubbornness of a wave that refuses, or not unknowingly, is in the act by its being firm in faith that it's a wave, it's actively denying it's the ocean. Yeah? So being firm in faith that it's a wave, that firm in faith that it's a wave in a dualistic expression is the active denial of being the ocean. And so now the ocean, aka wave, may want to understand the ocean, may want to experience the ocean, may want to have an experience of the ocean and stabilize that experience and make it a lasting condition. All the while, all of this activity is reinforcing its waveness. Yeah? What would happen if the wave would stop trying to know the ocean and understand the ocean, or keep trying, because you're going to win either way. If you keep trying, it's going to fail you. If you stop trying, it's going to fail you in a way. So the beautiful thing is if you start studying what it is to be a wave, and you understand what it is to be a wave, and you experience what it is to be a wave, there's a realization that you're not. Yeah? And what is it? What's there that has never left is ocean. Yeah? It's not like, all right, let me deny what I'm not and then move towards what I am. There's no second step in this dance. It's just seeing what you're not, and then you'll find out. Yeah? How difficult is that? Incredibly difficult as what you're not. So we have to point out that the remembering, the implying, the insinuating that the mental processes do all day to reinforce the idea that you're a long-lasting, independent, separate thing, all of that activity is what we're not. Yeah? And so by seeing it from what we are, and having an understanding of it from what we are, and knowing it from what we are, we find out what we are. By knowing what we're not, by studying what we're not, by understanding what we're not, we get a sense of what we are. Yeah? It's just that simple. So this isn't necessary, but my sense of what's happening here, there's a branch of Buddhism, I don't know which one it is, but they have these three, like the essence of mind is emptiness, the nature of mind, I mean big M mind, is reflective, and the manifestation of mind is energy. So we could see that there's dreaming, and energy is appearing to be myriad things. Yeah? So there's a dreaming going on. And that dreaming projects the idea of the dreamt. Now the dreaming may forget or seemingly forget that it's dreaming by being identified as the dreamt. Yes? So it doesn't realize that there was a projection of the dreaming. It's perceiving the dreaming as if it's real, because it's perceiving from this as if it was real. Yeah? So in this dreaming, faith is a very powerful force. Yeah? I don't mean a faith, not like Muslim, Islam, Buddhism, Judaism, Catholicism, Presbyterianism. Not a faith. I mean a force, an energy, sort of like gravity, faith. And faith is going to manifest by the vehicle it's put in. Yeah? And we have an incredible example right where we're sitting. When there's faith in a failed thought system that's determined and is defined by what's not happening, we, as a depository of that faith, as going to be a reaction of that faith, an experience of that faith, when that faith is in the thoughts, what's not happening has an ability to affect us and actually can override what's happening. Yeah? What's not happening obviously could never override what's happening, because it lacks the one quality what's happening has, which is it's happening. Yeah? What's not happening is happening in the head, but the faith in what's not happening, let's say that I'm going to be screwed next week, can produce an effect now. We can feel the physiological, the emotional feelings of fear with no apparent threat. Yeah? That's faith. Faith in imaginary thoughts about an imaginary time and an imaginary condition can seem, it appears to us, to produce real effects now. Yeah? That's faith. What would happen if faith was taken out of that vehicle, of the thought system, and maybe directed by something else or put somewhere else? Maybe that same faith would produce an assurance right now that you're taken care of with no evidence that you're being taken care of, or maybe with evidence that you're being taken care of, but a very strong immunity to the false evidence that may be appearing real if you have faith in the thoughts. Yes? So that faith now produces or allows an ease and comfort. That faith put into the thought system produces effects out of what's not happening. It mimics fear all day. So people are suffering minor electrocutions all day. Yeah? They're flipped out. And how are you going to deal if the problem abides in what's not happening? The only solution to that is to see that it's not happening. Once you apply a solution to it, you've given it relevance, yes? Yes? If I sit here, that's why we had a joke. I entered psychiatry or psychology, and I was going to specialize in what's not happening. Yeah? I'd only have to work one day. My career would end in one day because I could sign up about 60 people. Each one of them thought they were going to have an hour appointment, but I knew what was going to happen. So when Mr. Smith came in at 8 a.m., and he starts bitching about what's not happening, I just look at him, I say, that's not happening. See you next week, Mr. Smith. Yeah? So now at maybe $200 a head, 60 people, I got the whole year, I'm off. Yeah? Because basically, that's the only solution, that's the solution, is that it's not happening. Yeah? As soon as I try to delve into the historical root of it, the family of origin and shit like that, it just makes more stuff up. Yeah? If you get through all of the trauma of your family in origin, you'll have to go to your Martian family of origin or a fucking other planet you lived in at one time. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. All of this is generated by faith. Dreaming is faith. Yeah? Dreaming is of faith. Yeah? How could false evidence appear real unless there was faith in the false evidence being real? How? Tell me. This is an acronym we use in recovery, FEAR. False evidence is appearing real. What's our role there? Our role is, not as Paul, but as what I am, seeing false evidence, and in seeing it as false, it doesn't go to the next step. It doesn't appear real. Yeah? If it doesn't appear real, there's no effect, no imaginary effect by an uncaused condition, which is dreaming is uncaused. It's not real. Yeah? Look at what happens at night. In your dreaming at night, a tiger's running after you. When you wake up from the dream, are you still afraid of the tiger? You were super afraid in the dreaming. But when you wake up, you're not afraid of the tiger. And another thing, let's say you're dreaming one night and it's like a 300-year epic. You're dreaming, you're a prince, you're this, you're that. Goes on and on. Feels like time is slowly passing. And then the next night, you dream of a 5-second gulp of a latte, yeah? How long does it take to wake up from both dreams? The 300 Odyssey, you wake up like that. The 5-second, you wake up like that. Because only in the dreaming does time have an influence. You see? Only in the dreaming does time have an influence. When you wake up from that dream at night, you could have lived 12 years, 12 different lives, but you woke up like that. It was done. Those 500 years didn't take 5 months to erase because they were never there. Yes? You were. You and I are always here. We're the dreaming of the dreaming. And when someone says, oh, I have no faith, there's faith in that, isn't there? Can you get to any place before the effect of faith? Can you? This isn't like, oh, now I understand. I will wield the sword of faith. No. There's no call to arms. You just recognize how things are going. Yes? There's a seeing of it. There's not a seizing of it and a using of it. There's a seeing of it. Yeah? You recognize what's happening, and that opens up possibilities. Almost like one yodel in the Swiss Alps can cause many, many avalanches. Yeah? So you see something. You don't acquire knowledge from it. You see it, and there's a whack. Yeah? So faith is incredibly powerful. And when there's faith in the thought system, and when there's faith in what you're not, it's the active denial of what you are. That's duality, yeah? When we're firm in faith in that something else that we take to be ourselves, that firm in faith in taking something else to be ourselves is the active denial of what we are. Does anyone sitting here think they're in active denial of what they are? No. Why? Because they don't realize they're firm in faith in being something else. You recognize one side of the coin, you'll recognize the other side of the coin. The tail is going to lead to heads, and the head is going to lead to tails. And then, not two. That's the beauty of it. Not two. You finally see two-ness. You see it as an activity, as a movement. You catch it on film, so to speak. Yeah? There's a recognition of it. And that's the lightning strike of non-duality. There's a negation of that. You are the living negation of duality. How insane would it be to try to look for the one in comparing it with the two? Yeah? You are, I am what we're looking for. There's actually so much faith in that fact, it lets all the shenanigans going on. There's no threat by the shenanigans. Yeah, it's just dreaming. It's not under a threat. It's very, very, very clear what's not so. It's extremely clear. Because all there is this. Yeah? There's no mistaking it as it. It's only in the dream of duality where the act of being firm in faith in what you're not has to be in the active denial of what you are. not in what you are. There's no contrariness. Everything is accepted. Everything is a part of. Everything is appearing in it like a big open sky during the day. So much shit appears in that sky, yet it's never affected by any of the appearances. Yeah? That's what mind is like. This isn't about vanquishing duality or killing duality or being vigilant and watching it forever. There's an acceptance of it as not being so. Yeah? It doesn't mean anything else than that. It's just not so. Does it seem to continue? Yes. Can it have seeming effects? Yes. But none of that convinces you that it's so. And your so-ness isn't based on its condition. It isn't. Yeah? It isn't. The sky doesn't need clouds to imply the skyness. Yeah? The skyness is a big open space that allows everything to appear in it. Yeah? Does it ever shut the left, the back door of sky and said, way too many clouds today, way too many, let's put a halt to this, let's stop, no more clouds today, So, yeah. There's a lovely thing I love to read from recovery. Recovery has an incredible thing on faith. Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it says without knowing it, faith has been a huge influence all the time. Exactly. Now you know it. Hallelujah. Yeah. So you want to open it up?
Sure. John, did you want to go first?
Yeah, I just thank you, wonderful. It's like I always get tongue tied when I try to ask you a question, Paul. It's like so it's like a spasm. It seems it repeats and then releases, and then in the release, it's like this is of course there's no problem, things are fine, life is good, and then spasm, and it's like the failed system. Eventually, I start to see like, oh, here it comes again, and better go do a chore or something to do what I can, skillful means, whatever I can. But man, it's tiresome, like, what can I say? It's just, what's my question? So the faith, I just have a memory and a faith that this will pass. And then, of course, it does pass. It's passed right now, but 3 hours ago it wasn't passed. And what's my question? Like, I want to say, what can I do? But of course, there's nothing to do. I guess just like see that who's having it, who's having the spasm. That's helpful, but it's hard to do. Anyway, what? Is
Well, let's say, John. It's do whatever you're gonna do, and just see you're not the doer. Yeah, it's not about not doing; it's about no doer. Of course, there's gonna be doing. Yeah, but there isn't a doer of it. And the idea is maybe see it differently. Maybe the basis is relief, and then there's a spasm in it, instead of a spasm and then relief. Yeah?
I see, yeah.
So the spasm is an appearance in a sky of relief, let's say, instead of the sky being spasm and then temporarily relief, inevitably going back to the spasm.
Yeah.
And in fact, when we say we have a spasm, it's really the spasm has had you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not you having the spasm.
Yeah.
See, when a spasm has you, and the mental interpretation is you had a spasm, but really the experience was the spasm have you, it's a very unempowering narrative, yeah?
Yeah,
Because there's an assuming that you got some juice, but you're always getting defeated all day. Maybe see the powerlessness of this, and then you'll have a source of power. Yeah? Because this ain't it, that's for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And it's so funny that we'll recognize a spasm and have memories of it for years or 3 hours, but we'll forget relief like that.
Yeah.
See the interpretation. See, relief doesn't need an interpretation. Yeah? The relief doesn't need interpretation. We're addicted to an interpretation. We want to have a mental description of what it was like when we were relieved. But relief is different.
Yeah.
Relief is readily available at all times. Yeah? Because if relief is based on from the bondage of self, then the relief is inherently always available because there's no self to be bonded to. Yeah? So if that's the condition, please relieve me of the bondage of self. Well, there you go. Because all it is an activity that implies a historical bondage when there isn't any.
Yeah.
Yet it fits the narrative, so we pick up on that, and there we go. On with the story. And a spasm is a much better chapter heading than relief.
Yeah. It's nothing. Yeah.
See it. You're not that. Yeah. The interpretation wants to beget more interpretation. Yeah. Relief is from the interpretation. It's not of the interpretation. Relief is always bookended with bondage or dis-ease. Is that really relief? I don't see it that way. Relief is like being relieved of the need to be liberated. That's relief. Yeah? You're not that which needs to be liberated. What I'm not is constantly looking for liberation.
Yeah.
But it wants to be there to enjoy it. Yeah?
Yeah.
The liberation is from the need to be liberated. That's not of me. That's of the mental condition. The need to be liberated is of the mental condition. Liberation will never have a desire for liberation. It's the
Yeah.
What's not of liberation dreams of liberation.
Yeah.
Just like you're chanting you're not a body, but it's just you being used by the mental state to reinforce the identification as a body. What would chant I'm not a body? A body identification. Why would spirit chant I'm not a body? It's very clear it's not a body. It doesn't have to try to convince itself. Yeah? It's obvious. This message never turns into a chant. It doesn't. It doesn't turn into a mantra. It doesn't. It's a living something, or nothing really. Yeah? It echoes itself. It doesn't need to be echoed. You don't have to memorize all the statements by Nisargadatta or Ramana. Yeah? You don't have to do who am I as if it's like a drill. Yeah? Yeah. This thing usually is very whacks you, and it takes no time at all. And then that timeless whack reverberates and changes things. And hopefully you're not 2 levels below a coconut so you can observe it and give credit and honor to what it's due. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You put your gratitude and honor under the right tree
yeah.
by the fruits you've seen. Yeah,
Yes,
and
yes.
it's not a tree that grows in mental
Yeah,
soil.
yeah,
No
yeah. I
fucking
see.
way.
I
That
see.
tree is dead long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is living fruits, living relief. Peace of mind is available. You don't have to train yourself to respond appropriately to the pause. You'll be right with the first note of silence. Yeah? Yeah. These aren't abilities that you hone or you train, they're innate. Yeah?
Mm, mm.
The lion doesn't, once it sees it's not a sheep, it cancels the 3 months of roaring lessons. Yeah? It just realizes, what the fuck? You know what I mean? What? Yeah. It's not like,
Yeah, yeah.
I've forgotten how to roar. No, you haven't. You just haven't roared. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome, bro. It's good to see you.
Thank
And
you.
don't believe me, I'm just riffing,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, I just go off and,
yeah.
you know, then this is over and I eat some gluten-free pretzel sticks or something. Oh, I don't have any. Some pasta with a lovely sauce. Yep. There's Richard Trevino. Richard only comes out when he feels somebody's fucking with me. He's like my bodyguard. Yeah. So I'm going to sick him on John K. if John bothers me anything. You're going to get a call from Richard Trevino. Better be careful. Richard knows. I see him. There he goes. Put away the guns, Richard. Don't let him see those. We got all your addresses. We got it all. Don't fuck with the master. All right, anyone else?
Art's next.
Art. Where's art? We don't say art, it's art.
Art,
At.
art, yeah. Hey, Paul. Hey,
I'm trying to find you, Art, but I can hear you.
I'm right here.
The glasses.
Which one?
Under Z.
Under Z, hold on. All right, go on, I can hear you. He's not under Z here.
Well, it might.
Well, Paul, yeah, so what is it that you're suggesting we have faith in exactly?
I'm not suggesting anything. Where are you? I just attempted to describe faith as a force. And then maybe you can look in what's going on and maybe you'll see where the faith is. Yeah? That's all that's necessary. If you see where the faith is, it has a miraculous ability to move. Yeah?
Well, yeah, this is reminding me of something you said to me a week or two ago about, you said you'll find something and you'll know what you're not. It's like what you find shows you what you're not. Is it like, that sounds like kind of like what you're saying in a different way.
Well, we're talking more of faith as faith is the basis of seemingly so. Yeah. So basically, this whole event is seemingly. It's appearing to be true or false to us. Yes.
Yeah.
So that what's giving the meaning to the true and the false is faith. Yeah. If false evidence is appearing to be true to you, there's definitely the trail of faith around there. Yeah. As a force of mind. Yeah. Not your faith, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's faith in the dreaming that gives it a sense of reality. Yeah. It's not the dreaming that gives it itself a sense of reality. It's faith in the dreaming that gives it a sense of reality.
And in seeing that this faith and dreaming is that liberation, just seeing it.
Well, there's no liberation. So basically, again, if let's say you were freed from the need to be liberated, that may be actually liberation. Yeah? Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not what we thought. Yeah. But it doesn't matter what we thought, because it's sort of like if it quacks, it's a duck. If it walks like a duck, yes. If
Yeah.
there's a stabilized relief that changed the dimension and the depth and the volume of the dreaming, you're on to something. Yeah.
A stabilized belief or relief.
Relief. Relief. Yeah.
Yeah. And how does that relief come about?
I have no idea. I don't think it comes about. I think it's just hasn't been attended to, so to speak. Yeah. In other words, the relief doesn't appear because something else disappears. It's always there. But let's say it's not being paid attention to. So when you lose interest, when there's a loss of interest, what there's a lot of attention in, one of the effects will be relief. Yeah? But then when you get relief, it tells you it's always been this way. So relief isn't an experience in time that comes after contraction. It's a state, yeah?
It's a state that comes and goes.
No, it's before all that.
Right.
Relief is known by what it's compared with. But really, the relief we're talking about is a relief before any bondage or before any discomfort. Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not a dualistic expression. It's a always available condition, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. See, the beauty of it is when this stuff's moving through, all I have is a huge feeling of it, yeah? So I feel avalanches of shit happening, yeah? And then you just riff and let somebody ask me a question, and then it'll take me down a different road than I usually go down. So it's always exploratory, yeah? So in other words, the seeing can see from thousands of different variations, yeah? So you see one day you're sharing and you see relief as this, then another day it takes a whole different turn and goes somewhere else, yeah? And basically, it isn't the word, it's something I'm hoping gets through the Zoom, yeah? Like, if I could sell this, I'd be a great salesman, because most people believe they have to have a lot of belief in the product they sell. I have complete belief in this product. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Completely. For years and years and years. It never gets exhausted. Yet it's the last answer, which is sort of funny, yeah?
Yeah. And as you said before, it's what comes prior to everything else.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So do I. I love it
Thanks.
so much I don't care about it. I don't want to know it. I don't want to understand it. I don't want my grubby fingerprints all anywhere near it. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
it, yeah, gosh darn it, Paul. Thank you. Gosh,
You're welcome, Art. You didn't know what you were walking into, bro.
I'm glad I didn't.
Good. I'm glad you did too, bro. See you, yeah. We got Jack G. Jack G is in the house tonight. That's good, Jack. The dream's getting happier. You got shelter. It may be cold back there. Yeah? Yeah. All right, anyone have a question? Certain people can't ask me a question tonight, and they know who they are. Just look deep and yeah. I don't want to have to name names. All right, let's go.
And we have Deborah.
Deborah. I'm trying to find you, Deborah, but speaketh and we'll hear you. I don't think we have Deborah, Mike.
Yeah, she's there, but no image. She's
Shows
stopped.
unmuted.
She doesn't have a video, so you
Oh,
won't.
it's all right.
Are you speaking? Or if she doesn't have a video, we can't even tell then.
Well, let's go back to her then.
Okay. And Deborah, if you want to ask by chat, if your microphone doesn't work, do it that way too. So we'll go on to Jackie.
Jackie.
Hey, good to be on here again. Okay,
Oh, Jackie, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you because you have me traveling so light. Yeah, I'm vibing, I'm floating. I'm telling you. But
That's going to be the chorus of our next song. I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm traveling so light. I like
Yes,
that.
I just realized when I was coming on to the Zoom that you're doing a nothing conference. Oh my God. I gotta
Well, I'm not doing it. I'm going to be, doing a talk there.
yes, interesting. But anyway, I wanted to, okay, when you say I am who I'm looking for, you're saying I'm a living something.
No, I am what I'm looking for, not who I'm looking for.
Okay, I am what? Okay, let me cross this out. What? I
Yeah.
am what I'm looking for.
Yes.
You're saying I'm a living something, but you wouldn't call it God per se, quote unquote. I am the answer. Is that basically what it is?
Inevitably, yes.
Wow, I'm the bomb.
You're the bomb, honey. Yeah.
I'm the bomb.
So let's break into chorus. I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm traveling light. Yeah, I like that.
That was it. I know I'm the bomb. I'm going to ride on that tomorrow. I'm riding on that from this moment. I'm floating.
Honey, you're fine. See, what happens when you finally seem to get permission? It sort of informs you that you weren't getting permission for a long time.
Yeah.
That's the mental state playing God, yeah?
Mm.
It plays God. The bondage of self is sort of, you have the ability to reach 12 feet, you can only reach 8 feet, yes?
Mm.
It shrinks shit and it it hides possibility by casting them into time and tons of stuff. Yeah. It's an activity, the bondage of self, that the mental state is completely in. And there's no point in trying to talk to the mental state about it. So remember, Jackie, this message isn't to you, it's through you, hopefully, to what you are. And what you are is the bomb. Who you
Right.
are may not be, but what you are definitely is. Yeah?
Right.
So we're
And then, like I
speaking, we're
said,
basically speaking through Paul and Shelley and Jackie and Fritz and everyone else because we're trying, this message isn't for you, it's for what we are, yeah? We
right.
don't want to talk to Billy about the Buddha. We want to talk to Buddha about the Billy, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And at the same moment, there's the moment of time where Billy seems to be the truth. There's always the timeless moment of being the Buddha. That's the point, yeah?
And I heard you saying, how did you say it? That no matter what's going on around you, I mean, life is still going on. You know, I'm still going through certain things. But as you say, it's so much light. I can't explain it really.
You don't
All I
have to,
know,
honey. That's the point. You enjoy it. There's no need to explain it. You enjoy it, yeah?
yeah,
And you have honoring it and your gratitude. You have gratitude for it. These are
yeah,
the highest levels the action figure can reach. Knowing that it's not the source, it's not the cause, and honoring that which is living through it and being grateful
mm,
for the direction, because that power has done for me what I couldn't do for myself. Quite
right,
a lot. And this thing can express gratitude and can express honor and can express, togetherness, fellowship. It has these abilities to express. And to me, these are the highest ceilings it has. It's not going to be a chariot of the gods. You're not going to go to a golf course in heaven and be a body playing golf. The body is an appearance, yeah? It's not going anywhere. What you are doesn't appear. What you are can't be seen. It can't be heard. It can't be felt. It can't be tasted. It can't be touched. But without it, there'd be no touching, seeing, feeling, tasting, or smelling. Yeah? Yet that which is smelling and feeling and seeing and tasting and hearing can't be heard, can't be felt, can't be tasted. It is it. Yeah? If you follow anything back, you are going to inevitably rub up against it. And you'll realize there's no one rubbing up against it. There's just rubbing up against it. Because all there is that. Yeah? Take a sound. Follow a sound back as far as you can take it. Yeah? And then you may hear a humming or an energetic frequencies going on that seems to be before the sound of your breath, your heartbeat, and any sound from the street, and yet there's something before that sound that's hearing that sound, that's hearing those frequencies, that's hearing that buzz. That's what we are.
wow, that's
Yeah.
deep. That's deep. It's really making me teary-eyed to hear you. Whatever that is that I'm not feeling. Again, I can't even explain it, but it's almost bringing tears to my eyes. I just thank you
Yeah, and
for
you know what?
offering this invitation.
Traveling lighter begets traveling lighter. That's what it does. Traveling lighter
I hope
begets
I
more
don't get.
traveling lighter.
I might disappear in
Oh,
all
you
this
disappeared,
lightness.
honey, so don't worry about disappearing.
Thanks again.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again for the opportunity.
There's
Yeah.
anything the
They're after me. We shut off your Wi-Fi. Anyone else? I see Vlad and Z, Matthew, Sanda, we'll get in touch soon. Yeah, I haven't been busy at all, but I'm very busy, seemingly. There's George from the Void. George, you got to see yourself someday from where I'm sitting. It's amazing. It's like the Coen brothers lighting a movie. It's a perfect little. It's the space between spaces. It's very weird. I dig it though. Yeah. Anybody else?
Oops, did I? Oh, Deborah. Yeah, Deborah just got said.
Oh, she's back.
Yeah.
Still, no sound.
Any luck, Deborah?
Hey, Deborah, I think you're going to have to write Mike or me your question because we're not hearing you. I'm sorry.
Anyone else? No.
Yeah. Robert is next.
Robert. Oh, Robert from New Zealand?
No, that was another Robert. I think you're thinking about.
Oh, it's not Robert. All right. Well, I can't hear him.
Unmute himself. I see him.
Is it Robert? He has to unmute himself. That's Robert from New Zealand.
Not from New Zealand.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
I was
I'm a
wrong.
first-timer.
Oh, I can't see you, but go. Oh, yeah, I see you now.
Yeah, I'm up here.
Yeah. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Thank you. I like to think of myself also as a light traveler. But there are times when I can feel it getting a little heavier from time to time. And I've been meaning to ask you this for quite a while, actually. So, like, the mind seems to have this, like, tendency to want to go into the future, like, because, like, we have this sense of predictability as we get older, and it seems to get stronger. Because, like, you've talked about being a kid and how we didn't really have to think much about what we did, right? Like, I've watched your videos a million times, so. And so it's like when you're a kid, and I totally know what you're saying, is like you don't have to think much about what you're going to do next week, right? That would never
No.
occur.
Yeah, because, well, you didn't have a strong concept of next week.
Right. So, like, but as we get older, we get this sense of like predictability, right? Like, which is maybe why we get tired of our jobs, like stuff like that, or we know what we kind of can predict what's going to happen in a certain scenario, or things like that. And then I think that even when we're not, so like I'm thinking of into the future, say a week from now, right? Oh, I have this meeting and I know what it's going to be like, you know.
But remember, you're not that. You're not that which is being implied to be the thinking of next week. There's just thinking of next week being claimed to imply there's you thinking of next week.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah?
I totally get that. So like, and I do that. Okay, I don't do that.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get caught up in, like, I'm going to be using layman's terms.
Yeah, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, don't worry.
I don't want to, but okay, so because I totally get what you're saying, you know, like I've watched a million of your videos, and like I don't get it, but we can get wrapped up in the language. But what I'm saying is, like, I know what you're saying, and I do find myself, like, I travel light, like I can do, I feel like I travel light generally, and if I do think of that meeting, I'll be like, but that's not really me thinking of it, so, and then I let it go. But then when I get to the meeting that that week later, right? I'm in the meeting, and I could still even be traveling light in the meeting until something kind of heavy starts to come about, right? And then it's like, well, shit, I was right. Like I was right a week ago when and even though maybe none of that really totally matters in the grand scheme of things, it'll make you the next time think like, oh, the predictability, like nature of the mind really
Yeah.
does seem to have like a legitimacy to it, and it's like kind of like,
Well, that's how it furthers its story. Yeah.
yeah.
There's
And
always
then,
a kernel of truth in something,
right.
but then it's got 50 layers of deep fried nonsense around it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't feel it's really me, but it's like, like other people, like I don't know if like when you talk about selfing, right? And
Yeah.
I totally dig what you're saying on that. Like when you started talking about that, the first times I've heard you talk about that, it was like, wow, I've never heard anybody talk like this before, and I always thought like this along those lines. But when I heard you talk about it, I was like, wow, like this is exactly kind of how I think in a way. But the thing is, like with other people, so do you sense when other people are selfing, like other people coming
Yeah,
from,
for sure.
and then
But they're not selfing. You sense selfing, and you can sense when, obviously, if you're speaking with someone, if the selfing is the dominant influence, it's obvious to sense that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like obvious, and
But it doesn't mean there's more of the person in self. No, there's just selfing. Yeah.
right,
And it's just getting most of the attention at that moment. Yeah. Yeah.
right. But with some people it seems so intense, and I never do, but I kind of want to say, can you just stop selfing? But of course
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
not gonna
Well,
really get
usually
that,
that doesn't
but
go well.
right,
Just,
exactly.
just
Well,
make sure you have a way out of any place you're at. Yeah.
yeah,
That's,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, certain places it's kind of hard to, like physical places,
Yeah.
like the work or
But that's when you
activity.
need to have some skillful means, yeah, so that the pressure can be relieved. Yeah. That's all for the action figure. That's all like the fire extinguishers are in the dream. You know what I mean? The breathing 10 times deeply in the dream. It's for the action figure. Yeah. It needs
Right.
skillful means because, again, your idea of predictability is amassing of time. Yeah. Time is amassing. We think it's like laying on each moment is adding on to the previous moment. And it's like a snowball moving with momentum down. It's a feeling a lot of us have because time, in a way, one of the experience of time is like a weight, yeah, something
Yeah.
heavy, something put on you. So obviously the predictability is basically almost like you're reaching flatlineness in the interpretation. You're just gonna fucking like
Yeah.
ghost walk through your life at that point. Yes?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. It's sort of like I saw it happen with my mother. Yeah, in life as she got older, based on circumstances. She ended up laying on a couch every night, drinking a couple of beers and falling asleep every night. Go to work, come home, drink, go to sleep. Yeah. It was very predictable. And if I came in and she'd have the volume on the TV so low, if I came in and tried to raise the volume up to hear it, she'd wake up and go, "What are the neighbors going to think?" And we had like driveways between us and the other houses. But she was so concerned about what other people were thinking, which was her thinking about what other people were thinking. Yeah? And that was quite predictable. Yet she was a very powerful lady when she was younger. Yeah? And it was like a drip, drip, drip of disappointment and frustration as her youngest kid, you know? So this idea of predictability and stuff is it's almost like the mental states goes into atrophy, yes? It doesn't have much juice. Maybe it can extend 90 years or something. And it usually enters a state of atrophy where it gives you an insurance policy of certainty in the predictability. So you basically die comfortably numb, so to speak. Yes? It's not you. It never was you. You never become that. Yeah?
Right.
But it's an appearance, and that appearance is slowing down in the mud of time and predictability, for sure. Yes? And then it starts living through other people on TV. And it basically, we give up all the only contact we have is with the mental state. It's like I would call it, I used to joke around, it's like we're all in vertical coffins, yeah? We should have been laid to rest a while ago, but we seem to be moving. But in fact, yes? Yeah. But we're not that. There's a joy, even when that seems to be the appearance, there's still an innate joy available. You're not that. Yes? See, the thing is, once you believe you're the thinker of the thoughts that are putting you to sleep, then you think you can unthink those thoughts. That's the fucking spider web of selfing. Yeah? You never thought yourself into that, and you're not going to think yourself out of that. You're way before thought. You're way before predictability, and you're way before time. And none of those effects can truly affect what you are. Be assured of that. Be assured of that. You can be convinced of that. If you recognize the duality of this dreaming, you can be convinced of a lot of things that will bring a great assurance in a place of unpredictability and uncertainty. You'll be super clear you're not that. Yeah? You'll feel it, you'll taste it, you'll smell it, but you're not it. Yeah? So I see people, my brother and my sister killed themselves. My older brother, my older sister. Now, when I saw that in life, it looked like they got overwhelmed by circumstances. Yeah? And something beat them to the point where, because of the faith in the thought system, they were left hanging out to dry. And the only relief they could imagine was shutting everything down. And most people shoot themselves in the head because they think that's what's driving them crazy. They don't see it's not them. So the only solution is to end everything. I've seen it in my own life. Yeah? I've seen it in recovery. A lot of people don't go out and they never drink again, but they kill themselves. Yeah? Because they can't see what they're not. They're still in the faith that it's them. And they feel totally, totally abandoned by it. And they end up on a square that's not even a square on the game board. They're in a state of being pitiful, incomprehensibly demoralized. Yeah? And then things happen. But all the while, those are conditions. We're trying to give the attribution of conditions to what's unconditional. There's no condition to be what you are. None whatsoever. It's what you're not that tries to set up conditions to be what you are. You're not that. Yes? Yeah. That's the freedom before the bondage. It's inherent. It has nothing to do with you. It's not a Herculean task. You'd probably be bored writing one blog about it. Yeah? You just live it. Yeah? Don't think about it. I don't think about this shit. Only when I'm speaking. I enjoy it. I enjoy, you know, I enjoy not being determined by circumstances and situations. I enjoy that, yeah. Like a great person I used to know says, your abilities, you can outshine circumstances and situations. You do not you, Paul, or Robert, but what we are outshines circumstances, situations. Circumstances and situations are just reflections of the light that we are. They're dreaming. You know? So,
Can you touch on the past just a little bit? Because like, I just wanted to ask
yeah.
you about like you know, like how pictures, like people will bring up like pictures of themselves, right?
Yes, that's
Especially
time. Time is one of the main ingredients of the dreaming. Yeah? In the dreaming, we arrive at I am Paul, by I was Paul, all the memories that have pictured me, and all other people's memories that has pictured me as a body, and I will be Paul, or why the fuck am I worrying about this character so much? So I was Paul, I will be Paul, therefore I am Paul. It's all time. That's the ingredient of the magic trick. That's where, with the magic trick of time, what's impossible can seem to be possible. Yes?
Yeah.
But like we said earlier, a huge epic of 800 years in a dream or a 5-second in a dream, it takes the exact same amount of time to wake up from both. In the awakening, time doesn't fucking mean anything. In the dreaming, it means quite a lot. Yeah? We are not of time. We're seemingly in time, but we're not of time. Yeah? See what's in time, and you'll see it's not you. You will. I mean, it doesn't take much. Yeah.
But do you think that like your friends, that maybe you see them selfing, right? Like a lot more intensely, and then you want to help them, right? Because you can see that maybe they're reinforcing this like false you call it more of an activity, right? It's like an activity. Do you feel that activity will reinforce it and then make it more stronger of an activity? I mean, do you like in other
That's what it tries to do, but it's sort of like if someone's house is on fire, I don't tell them there is no house and there's no one that's in the house and there's no fire. I give them a glass of water, give them some water. Yeah? You don't, non-duality doesn't produce a rigidness or an arthritic having to be, there is no person. It's just a fact, and then you deal with shit as it's appearing. Yeah? Sometimes, hey, you say to the person that's not happening. Other times, you know that they have a real need of connecting, so you listen to this story. Yeah, who knows? It's all a dance.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't have a like. All right, so this is the set choreography, and I'm gonna follow this. No, It's improvisational at all time. Everyone's always asking me, well, what would you do if this was happening? Like, I remember I gave a talk and they go, and I'm sitting there at this meeting and they go, are you afraid of a shark? And I said, not now, because I know sharks stay in the water. I'm on land. So no, I'm not afraid of a shark now. Who knows what I'd be in the ocean? Yeah? You know what I mean? You just flow with it. Zoom is a little difficult. It's more difficult to read people at Zoom than it is live. You know? Because there's a certain separation in a way with the screen. Yeah? But, you know, I have faith in this message. I just put it out there, and you've admitted it. Some people have to admit it begrudgingly. They're traveling lighter. There you go. Yeah? I mean, really, if you could really sense it, you would realize, what more do I fucking want? Yeah? Yeah. And so, yeah. We've already been successful. I could pass away tonight and there's tons of videos. Yeah. Everyone has a version of Paul. There's no version that's real. Some people like the old talk. Some people don't like the Zoom. Some people like the da. It doesn't matter. I said, just pick the version you like. There's no one here. Yeah.
Well, I live in.
We've done the job. We fulfilled the seed assignment. Yeah. Something compelled me to speak. We've done it. Pretty much. This is all gravy. I'm surprised I've had to repeat it as much as I have. But that's not my judgment call. I just show up. All right, Robert, take it easy. Yeah. Let's not take ourselves too seriously. And just, I know you didn't mean it, but there's nobody that's selfing. There's selfing that implies a somebody. Just to throw it in there. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, bro. Nice to see you.
So I think Deborah is going to wait before she asks for another time.
I don't believe there is a Deborah.
Yeah, I think that's still being worked out. Yeah, anyway, unless she can manage the microphone. But otherwise, anyway, Satish right now Satish has raised his hand.
Who?
Satish.
Oh, Satish. All right, there he is. Yes.
So when the action figure is worried about something may happen, to the action figure, it's appearing real.
Excuse me, do that again. What's the second part?
The action figure is worried about something, and to the action figure, whatever he's worried about, it appears very real.
Yes.
So what can action figure do something to know that it's not real?
Yeah, it could feel, taste, touch, smell, and see. Really? I mean, that's not hard. Just like
but it's,
we
it's not,
we
he's
used to
not
say
worried about something
recovery.
which you can sense like that, you know. It's
Why
just-
don't you look at where your feet are? Yeah. Look at it. It's very obvious to discern what's not happening from what's happening. What's not happening isn't happening. It's a mental activity. Yeah. You're not seeing it, hearing it, feeling it, tasting it. You may be feeling it, but that's also an interpretation. But basically, you know what it's like, what's happening, don't you? There's
so
like a lot of seeing with no volition. There's hearing with no volition. If my hand moves from this couch and I hit a piece of candy underneath the table that was put there 5 days ago, yeah, none of this has any volition. That's what's happening. There's thoughts that are usually, the content of the thoughts are usually about what's not happening. But they're not, that's not where the meaning derives from. The meaning derives from you being the thinker. You believing you're the thinker and those thoughts are yours or about you. That's where the meaning goes. That's why we want to look at the thinker and forget about the thoughts, because the meaning the thoughts deliver comes from the thinker. Yeah? Yeah, so, and the point is, there's thousands and thousands of thoughts, but they're all being used to imply the one thinker. Yeah, I mean, why would you waste time trying to cultivate and, make thoughts like farm animals when you could just go to the idea of being the thinker? See if it holds water or not. Yeah? So everyone like here, all right, I'm worrying about next week. About 89 people will take the bait and start talking about next week. I much rather say, well, who is it that's worrying about next week? Let's look at that, yeah? Because next week has no meaning other than the meaning that's being given through you to it, yeah? You're not worried about everyone else's next week. You're only worried about your next week, eh? Mm-hmm. Usually, or maybe your kids' next week. I mean, the orbit is quite small about what you're worrying about next week for. Yeah?
So you're saying not to give any credibility to those thoughts.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying don't look, see if there's a thinker. Are you having those thoughts? Are they yours? Just to see. If you really describe what's happening, it's usually thoughts are having you, in a sense. Yeah? But we have a strange language. It's a subjective language used by objects. So the language is constantly implying that you and I have tons of shit to do with shit we have nothing to do with. Constantly. Yeah?
When you say you are meaning the action figure.
Yes. So you can look at it. I mean, we're not talking about, just imagine taking a breath of Martian air. No, we're looking at what's happening. Just take a look at it. Yeah? Do the thoughts, see, if the thoughts had a meaning, then everyone who would have that same thought would get the same meaning usually. But it's not. The thoughts are given meaning, and then they deliver the meaning to us. Yeah? Why not know that? You want to know about everything else. Like if you have a girlfriend, you want to know what she's doing. Why not know what you're doing? Yeah? Check it out. Is life a verb? And then there's an interpretation of life that produces a sense of noun? Or is this a noun world and the nouns are having verbs? Or verbs are having the nouns? Which one is it? Is it verbing? Is there seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching? And then that seeing is claimed to imply the seer? Or is there a seer even when there's no seeing going on? Which one is it?
Verbing.
Before we run out and have zillions of questions about the diameter and the size of the shoe for the horses, let's see where the horse is and the cart is. Is the horse in front of the cart? I mean, that's much more important than all the minutia. We might as well get the basic direction in place. Is seeing what's happening and then the interpretation of the seeing is there's a seer and seen? Is that the case? I believe it is. Yeah? All right, let's get that thing correct. There you go. Listen to the head. All right? Huang Po says a beautiful statement, an old Zen master. Whatever can be perceived can't be perceiving. Yes? That narrative playing in your head, is it based on that? Or is it based on what's perceiving can be perceived? In other words, this is what's perceiving. Which is it? Just a 5-minute sample of the underlying assumption in all of the narrative. The assumption is that that which is perceiving is also that which can be perceived. The seeing is claimed and it's presented as a seer, and the seer is pictured as a body. It's going totally against the statement of Huang Po. It's saying what can be perceived is what's perceiving. Which one do you want to... I agree with Huang Po, tell you the truth. It fits my experience better than the other statement. Yeah? These things are fundamental. We want to talk about everything else, but we've got everything is ass backwards. Let's just correct, at least in an understanding, this is verbing. All there is verbing. The noun comes up by the claiming of the verb. Yeah? There would be no seer without seeing. And yet there's tons of seeing with no seer. Which is the before and which is the after? The seeing is before, the seer is after. How is it assumed? What position is it assumed in the head the seer has? The before position. Don't you understand why nothing makes fucking sense? That's why. The horse is behind the cart. Just let it be corrected, and then you'll see blue is blue, and red is red, and green is green. You'll just see it clearly. But we want clarity based on an incredible amount of unclarity. We're rushing for enlightenment and awakening. We can't even tell our ass from our face. We need like a fucking anatomy class. Hey, you got to be willing to save your ass instead of your face. But when I came into recovery, I thought my face was my ass. All right, I needed that corrected. I did. All right, it's corrected. And the amazing thing was, when it was corrected, I had less questions, not more, less. Because this is the underlying dilemma. Not the lack of an answer you think you're seeking. This is the underlying dilemma. The seer is being presented to be before the seeing. Everything else, without that being addressed, everything else is reinforcing the blindness that's seemingly making. I'm not going to be a party of it with it. I'm not. Not even in Zoom. I'm not going to be a party of it. I wouldn't be serving anyone. I wouldn't. That's why when we were before, the meetings didn't go this way, because they were live. Yeah? And so you could just cut it at the root every time. And then it stops growing. Yeah? But first, all right, here's the blocks. Let's get them right. Yes? Where does the meaning come from? Does the thought bring me the meaning, or is the thought injected with the meaning and then it delivers it to me? Which is it? It's the second one. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen the production of self. I've seen it. Enough to know that I'm not that. Yeah? And selfing continues. There's no need for a self for selfing that continues. Selfing is way before self. Selfing is an activity that goes on mechanically. As long as there's oxygen going to the brain, it's going to be reinforcing the idea of being a someone. Yeah? If I'm waiting for that to stop, you're not going to be there when it stops. It's going to be the moment of death. Yeah? So you might as well. It's not this or that. It isn't. It's inclusive. The sky allows everything to appear in it. Yeah? It doesn't have to exile anything to be more sky. It can have everything appearing in it, and it doesn't lose 1 inch of skyness. It doesn't lose 1 drop of its own nature. Never. Yeah? I'm just going to do my job, and I won't be of service to you if I allow it to get out of hand. Not. Yeah? So, I really dig this opportunity. I'm hoping it's digging some new grooves in you. Yeah? So maybe when the attention and interest gets released for another day, it will take the unworn path, so to speak. Yes? And there'll be revelation and recognition, not beating it into you, a sudden recognition. Yeah? And that suddenness will be an echo in every fucking moment of time after. Yes? Yeah. It doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't. Its great assurance is it is. The great lack of assurance in the mental state is it ain't. Yeah? All right, so anyone? You all right, Satish?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. You're welcome, my friend.
Thanks, Satish. Okay, and then in case I didn't ask Deborah to unmute, we're trying again. So I just hit ask to unmute. And are you trying, Deborah?
Yeah, for sure it's wrong.
It's not showing, and microphone still shows muted.
I think something is intervening.
Hit ask to mute one more time. Okay, second time there. Okay, now it's showing unmuted. We're not hearing anything, Deborah. So yeah, I'm sure
I
hit
get
ask
it.
to
Let's
unmute
move
before.
on, Mike. Move on.
Yeah. No, there's no other hand. So
Yes, we'll move on. Yes. Yeah.
no, there's no other
Hey,
hand.
Jacob, did you have a question? I don't recall. Looks like you lowered your hand.
Oh, Jacob earlier had raised his hand, right?
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful how things go. I just love it. I just love it.
And Rob, is it the same Robert? Robert has put up his hand again. I'll ask to unmute. Oh yeah, he's put up 2 hands.
Sorry. I hope it's okay to ask 2 questions. I was just wondering if you have any like Lao Tzu influence at all. Like if you could just, I was just curious, if I'm sure you read Lao Tzu, but I'm just
Oh
curious if
yeah,
that plays
I
into-
like it all. Yeah, but I don't have. I'm sure it has a lot of influence.
Okay.
No, I liked Lao Tzu a lot. I wanted to be Chinese when I was younger. I did. I pictured myself living up in a mountain. I did Tai Chi and everything, but everyone kept seeing me as an Irish kid from Long Island. I was trying to say, I beg to differ. I'm turning Chinese.
Well, I live in
I like,
Taiwan. Actually.
I like the old Zen teachers, from China. There's a many of them, but my favorite, though I haven't seen that or heard that many, was Hawaiian Po. So
Yeah, I
he's
love
the
that too.
guy. I don't think you need anything more than Hawaiian Po, really.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
his stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I'm sure I'm influenced by a lot.
And do
Probably
you
mostly
see?
influenced by Amelia, Sri Amelia Donato, my girlfriend. She she influences me greatly. Okay, I'm kidding, Robin. I'll see you. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
And Jacob was trying, I think. You want to at least say hi, Jacob?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know. I was having fun with it in my head, just kind of playing with the idea. Satish had mentioned the action figure doing, and is it possible that the action figure doesn't really do anything, that it really can't do because there's just doing? Is that right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, and I used to love this idea that, like, we can only talk about words, we can only think about thoughts, we can only do, but with that in mind, the action figure not being able to do, we can't even talk about words. There's just wording. Yeah.
yes.
Anyway, I was just playing with that, having fun. And so thank you for.
Keep playing, Jacob.
Yeah.
It's like a young kid. You don't want him to play with matches, but in this case, you should play with a lot of matches. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, good. Seriously, let that mind unfurl. Yeah. It's like we're out of, sometimes we've been like a marathon runner in a closet. It's such a joy to run around. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. So, all right, my friend. Thank you.
There is wording about talking about wording.
Love it.
And Deborah wanted to said thanks by chat. So,
All right.
so I think we got that covered.
When you post this, call it Deborah's meeting.
Okay. Okay. And Izzy's,
All right.
Izzy's here, so if you want to say hi to Izzy,
Oh, yes. Where is Izzy?
I don't think she wants to show herself, but she's here. So
Nice to see you, Izzy. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. All right, just going to say goodbye to everyone. Yeah? Let's see. We got Mike. We got Kerry. Nice to see you, Kerry. It's been interesting being together in the Zooms, eh? Doesn't it sink in? Yeah.
Paul, it's awesome. It's a journey, man. It's just like I've been watching you for so long, but just this interaction, it's very funny to me. I don't know. I got to get a little more serious.
No, you don't. Don't go there, bro. All right, good. Judith, nice to see you, honey. Judith, we're going to be in Hawaii before you know it, so prepare yourself. I think we got frozen.
I can't wait, Paul.
Oh, good, honey.
Thank you so very much.
Oh,
Since
you're
I
wel-
started watching you, the character Judith has changed so much.
Yes,
It's just traveling lighter. Um, I I can see how the movie is just playing, and it has a trail of this person that was this actor that is not me, and it's not other people, but I can also see I can see through everybody. I can almost see through you and see me. It's a very lovely place to be in, and I'm so grateful that I found you on YouTube. It's been
No,
the most
vice
precious
versa.
thing in my life. It's been the
Vice-
most precious thing I have.
Thank you. Vice versa, honey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's always a pleasure to see you. in this group.
Likewise, Paul. That's why I'm here.
All right. Susan, nice to see you, Susan. Kempton, nice to see you. John, thank you, John. Yeah. Richard, I'm going to send you a few people's names. You know what to do. We got Robert French from
Thanks,
New
Paul.
Zealand. How are you, Robert? Nice to
Good,
see you.
Paul.
Good. George from the Void. Very nice. Nice to see you, George. We got Daniel. No, Dennis. Dennis. How are you, Dennis? You can call me anytime you like, Dennis. Yeah?
Thanks.
Not tonight, but, you know.
No, tonight. Just kidding. Thank you,
Hey,
Paul.
Sandra, I'll get with you soon. I'll talk to you Saturday, maybe. Where are you? Sandra from India. All right? I'll talk with you soon with that. Fritz, nice to see you. Fritz, we're going to be down south again this weekend.
Most excellent. Well,
I'm going to be down in Port Heineme again, I think.
Port Hueneme, yeah.
Yeah. So listen, you have my phone number, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, try to call me. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you then. Or maybe I won't. Who knows? All right, Clay, nice to see you, Clay. Clay, good. Robert, thank you, man. Thanks for the questions today. Vlad, always a pleasure.
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime, Vlad. Vlad and I had a
Thank you
nice
so
day in a park in London. That was very cool. Yeah. We got Z. Z is my, he's my Neptune. He's giving me the keys to the Oceanic Kingdom. Woohoo! Jeremy, Kaiser. Kaiser, thanks for all the
Thank you, Paul.
service, my friend. I think all the service is doing you wonders, Kaiser. Yeah. Mary, nice to see you, Mary. Jack G, there you go. Jack, when you leave that house, steal that Buddha on the wall. Yeah.
Hey, Paul, I'm really intrigued to know what Deborah's question was.
Oh, yeah, well, stay after the thing and you'll probably find out. All right, see you, bro. Julian, nice to see you. We got Mandeep, Jacob. Yes, just let Jacob's flag unfurl. Matthew, iPhone, nice to see you, iPhone. Yariv, pleasure, like always. Keith, thanks for sticking with us, Keith. Yeah. You're the B of the Zen bitch slap. Yeah. We got Deepak. Deepak, nice, a pleasure to see you again. Yeah, Deepak. Art, pleasure. Yep. We got Amelia. We got Jackie. Nice to see you, Jackie. Yeah. I want you to write that chorus. Write me a song. Yeah. We'll put it on the website.
Oh, I see.
We got Mary Ann, Kate, Nancy, Izzy. I don't know where you are, Izzy, but I'll find you. Deborah, the one who got thwarted. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. I'll see you soon, Saturday. And then we have the Nothing Conference Sunday. I don't know how you can get on it. We'll be doing 9:15 a.m. California time.
Are you sure it's Sunday and not Saturday? I think
I'm
it's Saturday.
positive it's Sunday. Yeah.
It says the 19th on the website.
Oh, is it? I
Yeah.
think it's Sunday.
'Cause I remember it showed it was just before the Saturday talk, so might want to double check whoever wants
All
to.
right. Well, whatever. We'll find out. We'll have it up there on the website.
It's up there
All right.
now, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll find out if that's true or not. Okay. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you.